So in today's video, I will be asking 5 millionaires if I should go to college or not. See, I just turned 18 and I'll be graduating high school this year. So it's time for me to figure out my career path. And what better way to do that than to ask a few millionaires I was lucky enough to meet in person. And if you're in the same position, who knows? This video might help you with your decision as well.
Are you dumb? What world are you living in?
To be honest, bro, I just think it's a cop-out.
So I recently went to Miami for a podcast and was able to spend some time with the boy Jordan. No, not Michael Jordan. Jordan Welch, the king of Miami. He's a young entrepreneur who's ran up multiple millions in the online world. And here's what he had to say.
Let me ask you this and I'll answer the question. Why do you want to go to college? And what do you want to study in college?
Computer science. The reason I'm going to college is as a backup plan, you know?
No, don't go to college.
Now, yes, I'm pretty much planning on going to college as a backup plan, just in case things don't work out. See, I have a long history of trying different side hustles.
For cocaine, the best strategy, in my opinion, is to buy low at wholesale and then sell high at retail.
Even going back as far as selling candy in school when I was like 12. And I've been pretty well gifted in the art of creating content, so I think that's the path I want to take. But once again, like, just in case things don't work out, if I do go to college and get a diploma, I'll have a whole nother career waiting for me. But there are a few good reasons why that wouldn't work out in the long run. More on that later.
If you want to make money, it's not going to happen from that computer science degree. It's going to happen from the late nights at work. But back to what you were saying, I'm not talking everybody out of college and careers, but this man right here specifically, I watched this man build a store in like 2 weeks, and he's also best friends with you, who's like the king of drop shipping. Look who you're in a room with today, you know?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
That's why it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't be going to college if I was you, brother.
Basically, Jordan's whole point was, look who you're in the room with. You have tons of good connections and you're in a privileged position. Like, you shouldn't even be thinking of college. And it's even funnier when you realize that every single person in the room is a college dropout.
Did you go?
For a little bit, but I dropped out.
So everyone went and just dropped out.
That says everything you need to know.
But at the end of the day, these are the words that hit me most.
My grandma, she's a beautiful soul. She gave me some of the best advice ever. When I was in college and I was getting ready to drop out because I just wanted to focus on this business, you know what she told me? She said, you could always go back. That stuck with me forever. I was like, okay, I'm dropping out. Let's go.
Although the little man Biaheza was there playing devil's advocate.
See, I don't know if I agree. I don't think it's a bad idea to have a computer science degree as a backup plan. I guess that's because what I personally did was go to college and then do something on the side. And when that was working, that's when I quit college.
I did the same thing, but that...
See, so are you?
Bro,
it's not
like,
for everybody. I'm not like a crazy college supporter. I feel like I'm just a pawn of the Matrix right now. Are you
right.
See, this guy is obviously an NPC that's reading a script. Nah, I'm playing, but Biaheza was basically telling me that college wouldn't be a bad choice and that I could probably juggle both business and college, you know, together. But here's what Jordan had to say about going 50-50 between college and business.
Yeah, if you're dropping 50% focus into the business, you're gonna get crushed by the 16-year-old kid that's like on prime energy that works nonstop on his dropshipping organic store. He's gonna just walk on you all day long, right? So it's something to consider. You could still become successful with 50% energy, but the more the better, right?
Exactly.
That is a good point, but at the end of the day, I do think you're able to juggle both to a certain extent, but that is until you do some more research and you realize that taking college classes may be easy at the start, but as you get to your third and fourth year, things start to get difficult. It'll take longer to do your homework, it'll take longer to study, you know, you're gonna start stressing about your exams because college isn't just a little game they play. Like, you can't cheat on your test, you can't go to Brainly and copy all your answers. You're gonna have to actually take time studying, learning the skill, which is gonna take a while, and it's gonna take a lot of valuable time that you could have spent on your business. It's like getting hired for a job that you lied on the resume on. Now, probably similar to you, I've always been one to hate college because, you know, I'm an alpha male. Like, I'm not going to college, I'm a Sigma, bro. Like, everything you see on the internet, people just, you know, hate on college. And the Andrew Tates, the Iman Gadzis, they were all saying, don't go to college, you know, don't do this, don't do that. And, you know, as a kid, you kind of get influenced by these people because they're influencers. They're supposed to influence you. Only the losers go to college.
I would never recommend universities. I think that a degree is worth nothing. Tell your mother that you've got a better plan and go out there and get a job.
But that was just the pride and ego talking. If I could give everyone one piece of advice, it would be to remove that pride and to genuinely think what would be best for you. It'll help a lot in the long run. And yeah, when I turned 18, it kind of hit me like, yo, no more messing around. You got to do something, you know? But I want to show you guys some interesting statistics I was able to find. It says that 51% of high schoolers think they will be millionaires by the age of 25. And as you know it, probably only a handful of that 51% will actually become millionaires by 25, which kind of just shows how overinflamed your ego can be as a young kid or a young adult, you know? This analytic really opened my eyes up. And Seb brought up a really good point.
Should he go to college?
Well, what do you want in life? I haven't thought about that, bro. Well, I can't help you then. Because if you want to be a doctor, then I'm not going to tell you to not go to college. I think you should sit down and think about it and figure out what you want to do in life and why, what you care about, and then kind of like picture yourself in the future and like imagine what you would like to be and what you would not like to be. That's probably a good thing to do as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. I just realized. That's crazy.
Yeah, go to like Costa Rica. I think they have ayahuasca. Maybe you can get into some of that.
See, this question really stunned me. Like, bro threw a shock grenade at me. I realized that I never really thought about that. I never really thought about what I wanted. Like, if I asked you the same question, what do you want? What would you say? See how you went blank? And if you did have an answer, it probably wasn't the most confident one. But that's also something everyone should do. Sit down, get a journal, and think about what you want to do. If you genuinely love being a doctor, if you genuinely love programming, go right ahead, do college. Because most of the time, you don't actually want what these people have. Like, you don't want a supercar, you don't want the money. Maybe all you want is just location freedom. You want to be able to travel. I personally desire the ability to have time and location freedom, which is something that college most likely won't give me. Iman also had a good perspective on all this, one that pushed me over the edge.
What are you studying?
Computer science.
What outcome do you want from that?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of just like something to fall back on, Right now, I'm doing the drop shipping, all the e-commerce stuff.
I'll be honest, for me personally, the thing is I don't know you well enough to know whether that's authentic to you. Since when did you start getting interested in that world?
I was never really interested, man. Honestly.
Yeah, then to be honest, bro, I just think it's a cop-out. Like,
You think so?
I think, honestly, you are trying to go down this path, loop-de-loops, to just end up here when you could just go straight there.
Just like Jordan, he thinks it's a cop-out. And that's exactly what it is. I have other goals which have nothing to do with school.
Just my personal opinion, I don't think it's something that screams out to you as a actual authentic passion of yours. I think whenever I hear the fallback, it's something to fall back on, that rings alarm bells for me. I think the only thing that you can fall back on is your skills. Like, whatever you learn and nurture in the next 4 years, that is your insurance policy.
These are wise words. He's basically saying that plan B is plan A. You have no other choice but to succeed. This is somewhat dangerous advice and comes off a bit arrogant. It's definitely a good idea to have a plan B, but even my plan B still wouldn't have anything to do with school.
Yeah, but my parents recommend it. He recommends it. Should I listen to them or no?
I don't know if it's necessarily wise all the time to listen to your parents. One thing that's really important for you to remember is the fact that your parents' advice is not going to be applicable to you, and that has nothing to do with your parents. You need to understand that when you have kids, your advice actually won't be that applicable to them. In the same way, for your parents, their parents were wrong. Like, there's certain life principles that will always hold true. The way to carry yourself. If your parents tell you how to have a happy, healthy marriage, you should listen to them. These are timeless things. But if your parents tell you this is the best career vehicle to get you to where you want, they're teaching you outdated models. Our parents they're not being malicious.
Now, the Bible talks against this point a little bit. Like, you should probably listen to your parents no matter what, because they have the wisdom and knowledge. But he does have a good point. Listening to your parents for life advice and marriage advice is totally different than business advice and, stuff for your career.
Over the next 4 years, if you spend 20 grand in online education, or let's say even 10 grand on online education, 50% of it will be a full waste. 25%, a quarter of it will be, okay, yeah, I learned a thing or two. And 25% of it will be truly life-changing. I'm telling you right now, if you were an apprentice for a company, if you were a free intern for a company for a year, the things that you would learn, as long as you choose the right company, by the way, because some companies are so bloated that you just get lost. You're one of 3,000 employees and they don't care about you. So as long as you choose the right company.
Yeah, low-key, he might have said this just to promote his online education course, but that in its own is somewhat true. Like, if I wanted to learn how to code, I can become a professional in like 3 months from a $20 Skillshare course, instead of dropping 50 bands over the course of 4 years to get taught by a college or a professor.
If for the next 3 years, all you did was work on business, and at the end of the 3 years, you had made no money, the skills that you would have learned, you would have acquired far more skills in the real world and actually being practical and being around, gentlemen like you have in the room, than sitting in a classroom and learning from an outdated professor. And you would also have far less debt on your hands as well. Even if you lost 5 grand, you tried a business, you gave your all and you failed, like, at least you took life lessons from that. Failure is not something to be concerned about.
I like this point a lot too. If I spend the next 3 years working on a business, the lessons and skills I will gain from that will be so much more worth it, and it might even get me a job without a diploma.
You always have to ask yourself, what do I have to lose? And the beautiful position that you're in is you have nothing to lose. Bro, if you up, doesn't ruin you.
I appreciate that advice though.
No, my pleasure.
Now, Iman didn't exactly say this, but I realized the opportunity I have as an 18-year-old. You see, as a young adult, I have all the time, all the freedom, all the energy in the world. Like, when else am I going to have this opportunity? And if I'm 30, I'll hopefully have then, which in its own is a huge responsibility. You know, I can't put $1,000 into, you know, fluffy coin just because somebody on Twitter said to do it. You know, I have to pay for the mortgage, I gotta pay for rent, car payment, all that stuff. And now I really don't have any expenses at all. So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And most of all, even if I was to give it my all for the next 4 years, like if I literally put all my money, all my time toward this one thing for the next 4 years and I still failed, at the end of the day, I'm still housed, I'm still able to be fed. I literally have everything I need, even if I lose it all. And obviously, like, some people might not be as privileged as me. You know, if they lose everything, like, they lose everything. So, you know, this advice doesn't really go toward everyone, but it could. But yes, if all fails, like, I could still go to college, I could still have a good career. It won't be the end of the world. Plus, then I'll have 4 years of legitimate business experience. I would have learned a ton of life lessons. I would have gained a ton of wisdom, and like that in its own is priceless, you know? And then from there, you know, I could even try to start another business, maybe even another. I'll surely become successful at least one of them. Okay, so after talking to all of these high-class individuals, let's hear my final answer. So, I have made my decision to join the computer science team at none other than Cal Berkeley. Let's go.
Actually?
Let's go.
Bro, I don't know if I'm dapping you up for that. That's some NPC activity.